A growing number of Republican senators have called on Roy Moore to withdraw from the Alabama Senate race after accusations of sexual misconduct from multiple women, several of whom said he harassed or assaulted them when they were under the age of consent. But with the December 12 special election less than a month away, there may not be much the Republican Party can do. Here are the options. No, whatever happens, Mr. Moore's name will be on the ballot. Names cannot be added to or removed from a ballot for any reason within 76 days of the election, said John Merrill, the Alabama Secretary of State. Even if he withdrew formally, or if the state party formally withdrew their support for him, or if he passed away, he would still be on the ballot, said Mr. Merrill, a Republican who has endorsed no one in the race. If that happened today or if it happened the day before the election, he will still be on the ballot. The ballots have been printed and were distributed on October 18, when absentee voting began in Alabama. Mr. Merrill said that means it is likely that some votes for Mr. Moore have already been cast. The election has long since started, he said. In short, yes, Lisa Murkowski, the Republican senator from Alaska, was re-elected in 2010 after a write-in campaign, and met recently to discuss strategy with Luther Strange, the Republican who currently holds the Senate seat but lost a primary election to Mr. Moore. Mr. Merrill said he believed no one had ever won a statewide write-in campaign in Alabama. A write-in candidate has the built-in disadvantage of not being listed on the ballot. And there are prosaic concerns, as well, like spelling and penmanship. Voters would have to legibly write and correctly spell the candidate's name in the appropriate blank space on a ballot. If somebody was trying to write in Joe Brown and they wrote in Joe Brownlee, that's not Joe Brown, Mr. Merrill said. If they wrote in Joe Brown and it was Joe Brown, I don't know how the law would be interpreted in that case. Poll workers at the local level, where votes are counted, would have to know ahead of time which potential spellings of a candidate's name were permissible. A lack of clarity could invite problems, Mr. Merrill said, drawing a comparison to the disputed 2000 presidential election in Florida. As long as you can tell what they are trying to spell, phonetically, it should be counted, he said. You're almost on the edge of getting in a hanging Chad situation. The bylaws of the Alabama Republican Party do appear to be clear on one thing, though: if Mr. Strange were to run as a write-in candidate and lose, he would then be barred from seeking office as a Republican for 6 years. This sore loser rule was adopted by the party in 1994. Gov. Ivy has the power to set and change special election dates, but it would be extraordinary for her to take such a step so close to the date, especially after absentee voting has begun. I'm not aware of any time in the history of the state when the governor changed the date of an election when the election was already in mid-stride, Mr. Merrill said.